As regards this light blue colored link via a transporting means, an electrical transporting means. Um, this was alluding to but one family in our village, in this one here, yeah, this is a chronic. It was done under the also auspices, if I remembered correctly, of my father. He has a larger article here, which is one of the best, I must say. Albeit he was helped by the one that was later killed. He was a journalist, and his helping part was in reading everything over and being prepared for telephone calls and so. So in here there is an article. I don't find it as of now, and I'm kind of tired to. This is, by the way, an example of people, how people could have helped with regards to my text, other than slotting it and changing names and simply give everything over to the German TV media. Just make it as if never have written. For that, they simply could have employed the Duden and written just any words after another. So here, the article could be found. It says that a very famous family, blue-blooded, was visiting them in the 50s or so, I think. For any reason, I could not understand that when reading that article, but one might held that for true. And if it was just for the reason that that family was seated since long in Bücken. So. So when reading this book, yeah, upon my textual grounds though, business model, then in the 80s also taking place reconstruction of the core criminal complex, because I hark back that long. I even hark back to the Second World War days, albeit I was not there. Then one can understand that that story in particular, because of blue-bloodedness, hints and links, was of a particular interest. So people elsewhere, for example those people, would do something out of it, and one can just be afraid of what that might have been, namely dragging here over all and every blue-blooded out of this world, in order to milk, in order to get blackmail material, in order for lastly to pressure out. One might justify it with past, but I find that already quite stark and worthwhile really taking notice of. So if that family, the Hannover family, the Ernst August family, indeed. So he was reported, if true or not, by the German print media now, to having in the 90s been red-headed all over. So he must have been very furious about something, and one cannot really assume what that might have been. Maybe it was due to the fact that he got an idea. Well, it might have then be a good idea to place results of my semen into villages hardly known in Germany, but yeah, those people grew. And having placed an example in a Hamburgian family called Brandstätter, which got rich on grounds of musician experience and employments and so on and so forth. But then already in the 90s, having met the wrong people, for example, my girlfriends, no, not my girlfriends, my fellow law study colleagues. I'm just redrawing. I'm just this is really a kind of, I'm not on certain grounds. I'm on solid grounds. But let's assume that was true. Then indeed one can imagine, yeah, one can freak out on that. Then also recognizing that one that had written a 13 points homework result, and all of a sudden she's lying there, and this or that guy, let's hope it was always the same, because indeed I had only 3 love relationships, as I call them, and and very few affairs. I would say one or so. Then in those years, and also later, since 20 years, I'm out here. So and it also is rememberable that Ernst August, if it is his name, was really not really totally capable of dealing with the media. So upon just getting a whiff of them, it was reported though, he would kind of freak out. So maybe also, but this is too far to assume. But I can only say my grandmother, that of the family that was also to be stripped of pasts, as I currently am, according to the wishes of Trixie Belden, no Trixie van der Saale, Frenzel. Then I can only say that woman, my relative, they were also seated in an area, though not blue-blooded, and had their possession and had their contacts with farmers, for example, and had this Baumschenke, yeah, in which this Shanaka idea was going to be combined. So I can only say that one of those 3 women, 2 daughters and a mother that was hanged, she was nicknamed then already Enne, yeah, the Burda Enne. That one was later. So, and paragraph 25, 1, sentence 1, second alternative StGB, it always has to be combined with a paragraph that speaks crime. Then it is always the question, who is leading all those people here? Who is behind? So maybe one really ought to have since longer have looked into these health center care undertakings. And if it was indeed the case that I was also shown there that people there are quickly removable and replaceable by others. So, and this person indeed looks similar due to the significant hair color that they had. They had very it is called strohblond, but it is not yellow. It is totally white color blonde. So if that one was telling me, upon having been asked though, that he was helping his parents for a weekend, then I don't know what kind of ideas one should get upon the aforementioned videos, and imagine that in the health care center was a cam hanging, and maybe I did indeed arouse some attention, because as I could see when I was there, I was of course the most attractive, it's clear. So later on, they would invite Sophias and blonde I don't know what, who then got licked by a kampfhund. Let's presume that is true. So if you would eat such a kampfhund, which is another idea that one gets out of the Chinese culture, then upon eating that dog, having licked loads and loads of Fotzen and Mösen, then be they German or it's from elsewhere, then you get a hint how you can become a human meat eater without having ever dreamt of becoming a cannibal, lastly, and thereby getting brain damaged and severely affected look-wise, for example. This I gathered under the collection of biochemistry, but it is on so unsolid grounds. It is not really sound forschung yet. It is simply fucking and messing around. Nothing more, nothing less. The comfort video, it is a very short video. It is x.com. Maybe a week ago or so, we now have the 12th of March 25. And I still did not receive any money, and now it becomes clear why not. Because since long I'm dead, or soon to be dead, or let's just wait and see. She has always gotten things for free. Yeah, who was there to judge upon? Yeah, for example, Friederike Lüthes and Thülay Kochers. Thülay Kochers in a far North Rhine-Westphalia being disgruntled somehow and placing her disgruntledness upon me and my mother, for example, in order to rid herself, albeit my mother did not have any issues with her Turkish pupils, a few. Also me, also not. Friederike Lüthe, I've spoken about her already.